Professor Wergeles here. We are on lecture number 30. We're in the third directory, data retrieval number 3, and we're in index.html. Let's go through this code and make sure we understand it very clearly. Here, we are creating an instance of the application class. We are creating an instance of the application class, and then we're going to set the property called name from the constructor. Okay, so here's the constructor application. It takes a parameter called name, and based off that parameter, I'm going to set the property name, which is what is happening here. And then we're going to call the start method, which is a prototype. So we're going to call the application prototype start method. If I go down to the start method, here it is. This will create a new instance of the advertisement class. We're going to create a new instance of the advertisement class, and we're going to call the retrieve method, which is in the advertisements prototype, and we're going to pass a function that's going to be executed when the GET request is successful, as well as passing the application's context. That way we have access to the name, which is a property. So here's the onDataReceived. We're going to be passing this function to the retrieve method, as well as the application's context, which is going to consist of the name. Okay, so the name and this onDataReceived is being passed to retrieve. We go down a little bit. Here's the advertisement class. This is the constructor. And here's the retrieve method. Now, we're going to rewrite the retrieve method to take in the onSuccess method, as well as the application's context. So now onSuccess and context are both in scope. This doOnSuccess function is going to wrap and enclose onSuccess and the context. Okay, so I'm wrapping this in a block. The onSuccess is passed as a parameter here. That's going to be called, and we're going to pass in the context and the data. Now, data is coming from this GET request. So instead of the jQuery GET method calling onSuccess directly, it calls a function defined inside of the retrieval method called doOnSuccess, which wraps the application context and the data passed back from the GET request. So I'm going to execute this GET request. It calls info.php. Info.php passes back, you just won $1 million, and then doOnSuccess is called. Here's doOnSuccess, which passes data as a parameter. doOnSuccess executes the function passed as a parameter, passing the application context and the data received from the GET request. Therefore, when I execute this function, I have the name because I still have the original context, and I have the data because that's passed as a parameter from the GET request. So now I'm successfully able to have different users with different advertisements calling different onSuccess methods. So here I have different users, which could have different advertisements, which can call different methods based on the success of the GET request. All I need to do is make sure I pass the original class's context. Now, this is a difficult program to understand, especially if you're new to this. You need to learn prototypes. You need to know properties and methods, and you need to make sure you understand how to program dynamically. By doing this, setting this up is a little bit difficult, but now I can have 10 different people having 10 different advertisements and displaying different messages based off that advertisement. So it makes retrieving data and showing that data dynamically very easily. So in the next example, I'm going to show you how we can have different people showing different messages. So stick with Professor Wergeles, and we'll see you in the next video.